You try to focus on what you need to focus on. Don't be getting distracted by, you know, some other life, because we black people, we slaves, and that's it. We just got to make the best of the situation. We see that Rosalie's bandages are still bloody. It's not really bandages. She just has some stuff wrapped around her arms, but I guess they bandages. We see Noah approach Frog Jack or Jack and offer to fix his axle. You know, I've been watching you. That wagon axle is not going to last very long. It's kind of shaky. You know, if you give me a paper and a pen, because part of the plan is to get those freedom papers, those, you know, papers that say that the master is giving you your freedom papers. I don't know. I see that, you know, your axle, but I'll fix your axle in exchange for some paper. And he like, I ain't giving you paper. If I give you paper, I'm gonna get in trouble. You gonna get in trouble. Noah's like, I'll be discreet. Nobody will ever know. You know, he eventually, you know, we come up on the fact that he does talk him into giving him paper in exchange for him fixing his axle, which Noah points out that, you know, hopefully, you know, you'll be able to get it. If I don't fix it, hopefully you'll be able to get it fixed before you, it crashes and you fall off and break your head and die. So go on and let me fix it, you know. Cato, meanwhile, is watching Henry, who is the lookout for Noah, while he's, you know, getting this illicit paper and pen. And Cato sees Henry and is like, what's going on? What's going on? Then Bill Meeks is like, Frog Jack didn't give me my tobacco. And he's, you know, Henry is a horse. He deals with horses. So get my horse ready, boy. And Henry is like, okay. But he not really moving fast. So Bill Meeks is like, forget it. I'll just go, you know, I'll just go down there and get my stuff from Frog Jack. And Cato realizes, oh, Henry is, you know, a lookout for Noah. Noah got something going on. He been trying to figure out what the plan is, so he about to go down there. And he's kind of in a situation where he doesn't really exactly have anything to lose, so he's kind of toying with Noah in a way. Oh, what Noah's doing, you getting alcohol, why don't you get alcohol from the house like everybody else? You down here doing something wrong. Make him strip. Bill Meeks, make him strip. Massa, you know, it's nigga ain't shit, or you know, whatever. And Cato is just making the situation real stressful for Noah. But in the meantime, he sees the paper in the jug. He doesn't let on to Bill Meeks that there's paper in the jug. And you know, then when Bill Meeks leaves, he's ha, that was really funny. And Noah don't really think the stuff is all that funny, and he really don't want to deal with Cato. Cato, you know, by being a driver, somebody who beats, you know, the black people, he don't really have the best. You know, people don't really like him, although I feel bad for them, because what choice do they have? They trying to make it in the situation too. If they say beat the person and you say, no, I'm not going to beat them, then they going to, you know, it's a jacked up situation. So we see the power battle that's established between Noah and Cato. So that's kind of what that scene establishes. Elizabeth still shows that she's very observant. She's in the room. She's while they're trying to figure out how to get the black person who had been in the box and then was underneath the floorboards when the slave catchers came looking. I know that box was here. I know he's in that box. Couldn't find him. They're trying to figure out how to get him out the house. He like, I'll just leave, you know, because it's not gonna, and Elizabeth shows, you know, she's like, you know, looking out the window. She like, no, you can't leave, because this guy is here. This guy's here. They're circling around. This is the same guy who came in. He got on a hot hat now. So she establishes that, and they kind of make a plan to get the man out of the house. But he's like, I just want to leave. And it ends up where we see Elizabeth go. She's going to the police station, and then we see a man run out the house. We assume that it's the enslaved African that had been in the box that is freeing himself, but it's not. It's actually when the police come and the slave catchers get on him. We got you, you know, and Mr. Hawks, John Hawks, is like, you know, we want to arrest these people for jumping on this free man for no reason. And they like, this isn't the free man, this is the slave that was in the box. And it's like, no, it's a free man. And he pulls back the whatever, and we see that it's William Steele. And, you know, meanwhile, with the distraction, and that's the key word for the season, distraction. With the distraction, the other guy is gone by this, you know, so they've distracted him. William Steele has his paper. They arrest the slave catchers. It's a happy ending to that part. We see August teaching Ben Jay to hunt. how to shoot, and Benjay kills his first wolf. August gets distracted because he's hunting those egg stealers, and he sees some clue, and he wants to go, or egg stealer, he wants to go off in the direction. His son is like, what do we do with the wolf I just killed? And his father is like, you take it home. And then later we see that Ben might have taken it home, but he came back for his father, and his father is fighting with this person who is seeking freedom, who's been taking his eggs to eat. And he says, I'm not going back, I'm not going back, I'm not going back. So they basically fight to the death. His father, August, has blood all over him. The enslaved African has found his freedom in death, but he died fighting for his freedom. So, the little boy observes all of this, and so we kind of see that established. We see Pearlie Mae writing passes for, passes. And Pearlie Mae, her husband, Moses, says, well, write one for you and for Boo too. And she's like, well, the little girl is too little to run, and you just go. And he like, no, we all going together, we gonna be a family, and if I have to carry she gonna get to freedom if I have to carry her, as long as all of us are together. $300. I don't know what this is. Bill there with cotton industry. Okay, we already talked about that. I don't know what that $300 is though. So when the men were like, Bill was like, I wouldn't work my fingers to the bone for free, so if they ain't slaves, I don't know how your cotton system is going to work. Then they like, well, I know one thing. And meanwhile, Rosalie is in the room. I like me some, she's cute, and she got her little yellow ribbon in her hair, and, she's an attractive woman, and they leering at her, and, they want to take advantage of her because, they feel that they can. So the men are talking, I like they hips, and, Tom Macon is like, well, I wouldn't know anything about that. I got my wife, whatever he's trying to say. And then just at the opportune moment, Ernestine comes in and says, would you like the wine served now, sir? It's in the cellar. Would you like for me to go get it? And it's like, yes. And in that moment, Rosalie is able to escape. She's upset. And the next scene, we see Ernestine naked in the wine cellar. When he comes in, this is the wine cellar scene. That's the only one I remember. She's naked. She pours wine on her. We don't want to waste this good wine on your rude guest. And, he's excited. He's turned on. We can see this is their routine. This is their relationship. But meanwhile, she's advocating for her son, James, because Susanna, the whole show, there have been a couple scenes where Susanna has said, James is going to be out in the field. We're going to make some money off of this Negro. And she's saying that because she's mad at, well, I guess she's saying it because she can, but she's mad at Ernestine, and she knows that would hurt Ernestine. So she's taunting her and harassing Ernestine, throughout the show. So Ernestine in this scene, he goes to Tom Macon goes to kiss her, and she smacks him, and she's like, I didn't tell you could touch me. And we see that there's kind of like a power dynamic in their relationship, although it's kind of a precarious one for her because she is enslaved. It's not like these are two free people having a relationship. There is a power differential. So even if she can play with it and try to negotiate it and work it on her behalf, she's at a disadvantage in this situation. So we can't say, I just hate the idea that people say this is a voluntary relationship or that she's working it. I mean, she's doing the best that she can under the circumstances. And so she advocates for her son and says, I don't want him out in the fields. Let him go work with Henry. I don't want him out in the fields. And before you kiss me, say that. And she he's like, or while they're having sex or whatever, he willing to say anything. So he say, Henry won't be out in the fields. And she's like, okay, say it, make it happen. That's her thing. So we see that that established. And even in her downtime, she had to negotiate to get her daughter some space and some freedom, and she had to she's negotiating to try to get her son, the youngest son, not sent out into the cotton fields, but to work as a carpenter with her other son. We see the group at the dance. Rosalie is running to join the group that's being marched to the dance. Kato is watching Noah, so they start talking, and Noah is like, well, you know, Shaw has a gun here. Her husband was into guns, a gun collector in the war, whatever. So we gonna steal the gun. How you gonna steal the gun? Kato says, we gonna, you know, she likes to have sex. I already told y'all about that. And she usually likes to have, every time I come, she want to have sex with me. So while she having sex with me, you gonna steal the gun. Well, she, you know, what about the other people who work in the house? Well, she likes to have an audience. So they all gonna be watching her have sex with me while you steal the gun. And then the servant comes over and taps Kato on the shoulder. And right before he does that, Kato is like, woo, you better than me, because I wouldn't care what, I wouldn't be having sex with that woman. The servant, Bareback Shaw, that's how she got her name, because she likes to have sex or whatever with black men. Bareback Shaw servant comes and taps Kato on the shoulder. And Kato like, you trying to tap Noah on the shoulder? He like, nah, Bareback Shaw wants you. And you know, so Noah has kind of set Kato up to have sex with the woman while he steals the gun. And then when Kato come back, he's so mad. Noah's like, you know, look, you know, stop testing me. I got this gun, and you know, I will use it on your ass, and ain't nobody gonna know or care. Stop testing me. So, you know, their power battle continues. Yeah, the man was in the box for 2 weeks with Steele. So we already talked about that. We find that Tom has a fully funded campaign, and Ernestine puts out the candles, and Tom is, you know, rubbing on his wife's pregnant belly and being so sweet and affectionate about the baby coming. And we see Ernestine in the background, but we already know now that they actually have a relationship, but you sure can't see it on her face. And then we go into the scene where Noah and Noah has done his business, so now it's time for him to socialize. He go up to Rosalie, and they're dancing, and he comments on the yellow ribbon. She comments on the tattoos on his back. She says, you know, I had noticed you had tattoos on your back, and I didn't understand, but now I understand. Now I didn't know why you were putting pain on top of pain, but now I understand that what it is that you putting your story on top of things. You're not letting them write your story or create that be the last word on the story. The last word on the story is what you say. You want to define yourself. You're not letting white folks define you. You want to define yourself or something. And then, you know, again, Noah looks at Rosalie, and he's like, oh my God, she sees me. She understands me. And then he says, run with me. And that's the end of the episode. Yay! It's much better than I could explain it. If you haven't watched it, watch it. And if you're like me, you just like to hear about these people, because we're in love with the characters. I'm in love with the characters. I'm in love with the show. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, share. And I'll see you next time. Be you, be fabulous you. Underground Season 1, Episode 2 review out. Recap out. Bye.